The COVID-19 pandemic has helped us learn a lot of things. For me, some of the best lessons I learned in this pandemic were those of patience, understanding, and acceptance. Throughout the coronavirus pandemic, probably each one of us was angry and sad and just wanted it to be over. But at this moment, and when I felt these things, I understood that the coronavirus pandemic was out of my control. And it is at this moment that I learned the lessons of patience, understanding, and acceptance. I learned that I needed to be patient and that everybody was doing the best that they could to get through this pandemic. I needed to understand that we're doing the best we can and that you just need to hang on. And I needed to accept that I needed to play the hand I was dealt. And while the COVID pandemic has created many more problems than it has solutions, it is the hand we are dealt, and it's the one we have to play. This brings to mind a very applicable quote by FDR, which states, "When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on." By breaking down this quote into three main points, we can understand what FDR meant by this quote. The first is that we all have an end. Second is that sometimes no action is the best action. And finally, that you never have to hang alone. Jumping into the first point, we all have an end of our emotional rope. We all get tired, worn out, emotionally drained, and at that moment, sometimes we just want to explode in a fiery ball of rage. And when we feel this way, we vent our feelings to the person that's nearest to us, whether that be a customer service agent, our friends, our family, our loved ones, anyone that will listen. And it is at this moment that we disregard one important factor. That the person that we're exploding on, the person that we're venting all of our rage onto, has feelings as well. Everyone has the end of an emotional rope, and everyone is somewhere on that rope. Some people might be at the end, but when we're venting, we don't take this into consideration. But by understanding that some people might be at the end of their rope too, we can understand that we can suppress our rage. We can acknowledge other people's feelings, and we can prevent them from reaching the end of their rope, and them, somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. And by one person understanding that somebody else has feelings and suppressing their rage and not just exploding all over that person, they can beef up and support the emotional rope and the emotional position that a person has on that rope, and help people be in an emotionally stable position. This leads us into our second point of sometimes no action is the best action. In this case, suppressing your feelings, not venting to that person, is the best course of action because it will support that person's emotional support. It will not cause them to reach their emotion, the end of their emotional rope, and it will help them be emotionally stable. Sometimes, though, we're at the end of our emotional rope, and we don't need to do anything, and we ought not. This is where the second portion of the quote comes in, the tying the knot. Once we tie that knot and we hang on, we shouldn't do anything. We should wait, think. And by doing this, we create a moment of clarity in which a path and a course of action will be presented to us, and that we will understand where to go. This quote brings to mind a second quote, which is, "It's always darkest before the dawn." But in the darkness, you need to hang on. You need to tie that knot so that eventually you can reach the light of the dawn. And by tying that knot, by hanging on, by not doing anything, we can help hang on to the light of the dawn. But the third portion is that we never have to hang alone. It's never a bad thing to ask somebody to hang with you, to help you through your emotional problems, to help you hang on to that end of your rope, to that knot. And then eventually, when you get your course of action and you improve, you can turn around and help somebody else that's on their knot, that's at the end of their rope, and thus creating a cycle of emotional stability for everybody. We can always acknowledge somebody's feelings. We can always help somebody in need. But most always, tie that knot and wait for the light of the dawn, and wait and hold on for something better to happen. Thank you.